This video is sponsored by the Nassau Inn Princeton.
Hi, I'm Ruay Mount Hannawald, and I'm here at my family's farm, Terhune Orchards. I farm on this family farm with my father, mother, and my sister, and I'm actually the 11th generation in my family that's been farming in central New Jersey. On this farm, we have 200 acres, and we farm about 36 different kinds of crops. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite crops, spinach. So a great thing about our spinach crop is that we can try and have it almost all year long. So one of the challenges about being a farmer is that you have to adjust to the different seasons. So here we are in our high tunnel. And what we do in our high tunnel is we plant sequentially every few weeks so that when these plants are ready to harvest, these are just getting a little bit older and these young plants are still just starting to grow. Because we're in the high tunnel, I find that these plants are very tender. They're not dealing with as much of the elements, they're protected, and we can harvest this throughout the entire winter. One of the only things that we do is we have water. We have to have water because there's no rainfall in the tunnel, but we do it in a way to conserve the water. So we have these drip irrigation tubes, and these tubes have little holes every few feet, and it like a pinhole, and it drips the water directly into the ground. So there's very little evaporation. It goes right into the roots of the plants. And you can see here I have about 8 rows of spinach, and I have 2 of these irrigation tapes. And that would be one of our spinach beds that we'd be able to harvest for several weeks. The way that we harvest is we harvest just taking the leaves off of the plants. Once we're finished and the plants are getting kind of older, we'll just take the whole plant up and harvest the entire plant. But what's great about making use of the space in a limited space like a tunnel is we can harvest leaf by leaf and really harvest every day throughout the entire winter and have a great fresh crop, even here amongst the snow of, New Jersey winter. So here's another part of the farm where we have spinach that we directly seeded right into the ground. And this spinach we actually planted about 5 months ago, and now we're harvesting it, but it grew so slowly throughout the winter. The way it was able to stay alive is that we put it under these kind of systems where there is some cloth over top of hoop, and we even put this plastic coating up on top of it to insulate it in these low tunnels. So that's another way that we can keep a crop alive during the winter. And it grew really slowly, but then now as the weather's gotten nice, it's gone more quickly. We're able to remove the tunnels once there's no more frost and start harvesting it. And so that's another way we can kind of plan ahead and extend our crops. So now that it's spring, we can plant directly outside, but we still have to plan and plant sequentially so that we'll always have new spinach ready to harvest. So here you can see we have a little bit older spinach compared to a little bit younger, and then over there we just planted that spinach, and we'll keep doing that throughout the entire spring into the summer. So one of the important things about farming is being both flexible, because you can never predict the weather, but also planning ahead. We try out something different every year. It's kind of like a little bit of problem solving, where one year we'll grow one type of spinach or in one kind of way, in the high tunnel, out in the field, in the greenhouse, in a low tunnel, and then we see how it does. And we try different species in each different place and see how they do. So here in another one of our tunnels, we have spinach growing. This is older spinach than the previous tunnel. We also have right next to it 2 different varieties of kale. And every year we rotate where these crops go. So next year we won't have these same crops in this tunnel. That way we don't deplete the nutrients out of the soil, and we don't build up any pest issues, because we keep rotating which crops where they grow, and we have to plan that out. I'm really lucky to work with a couple colleagues, Scott and Noe, who are very good at being careful and planning, and you can see how much work it takes to keep all the weeds out of here and keep everything really neat in these tunnels. It's a lot of time and a lot of planning, but then leads to really great crops. What it means that it'd be a certified organic farm and our spinach being certified organic, it means that we don't use any synthetic pesticides or chemicals in growing, or fertilizers in growing our spinach. It also means that we're inspected every year, and so inspectors come out, they sample the leaves, they take them back to the lab, they make sure that there's no chemicals on them that shouldn't be there. They also look at all of our records. They make sure that I buy our seed from organic sources, that I've only used organic and certified methods in growing it. And so we think that's really important, and we do that for all of our vegetables here at the farm. So here at Terhune Orchards, we actually grow more than 36 different kinds of things. So one thing I really like to do with our spinach is make it into smoothies, because I can use some of our fresh berries during the summer and then add the spinach to that. And so that's a way of getting a lot of vegetable and nutrients, but also a really tasty kind of refreshing drink. And so I think that's a great way to try spinach. I love spinach. I have it nearly every day with my lunch, because I either have it fresh in a salad, or I prefer it to be lightly steamed, sauteed. The way I do that is that I take the spinach, I rinse it, and so it has a little bit of water on the leaves, and I just put those leaves directly into the hot fry pan, and it just steams them and they're done. So it's really fresh and none of the nutrients have leaked out. So one thing at Terhune Orchards that we think is unique is that we hope that every customer comes to us and visits us at the farm. That's why we're open every single day all year long, and our farm is open to the public. And we hope that when people visit us, they ask us questions about how we grow something, why we grow it, what methods we use, and they feel good about the safety and the health of anything that they're eating on our farm. And so we spend a lot of time explaining to customers why we do what we do and how we do it to be safe and healthy. Thanks for watching this video about spinach. I hope you can see how lucky I feel to be a farmer here in New Jersey. I hope you come to the farm and visit us. We'd love to see you.